Please welcome Srinivasan with Chewy and John Haywood with Deloitte.
Wow, really bright up here. Srini, thanks for taking the time to do this with me today. The story of your organization, Chewy, really interesting. You guys have experienced, fabulous growth over the past couple of years, especially with the pandemic. How has that impacted the way that you think about your metrics and KPIs?
No, that's a great question, John. And good morning, everyone. Before I start answering your question, let me check. How many of you are familiar with Chewy? That's a lot of hands. How many of you are pet parents and not know Chewy? I want to talk to you after this call. No, anyway, thank you. And one of the reasons I asked, as a preparation for this, when I was talking to Olga and said, I see for every other session you have introductory slides about the company. And her response is, you don't need one. And many of you validated. Thank you. And to get back to your question, John, I think the last 4 years, it has been tremendous growth at Chewy. We finished fiscal 2019, the beginning of 2020, with 4.8 billion as revenue in the last 4 years. Last year, we exceeded 11 billion, more than doubling our revenue, as well as doubling our active customer base. And when we have such a growth, certainly we keep our eyes on some of the key metrics related to fraud. Some of them that we keep a closer eye on is our total fraud loss, approval rates, false positive, more importantly, customer experience. And over the past 4 years, we offered so many functionalities and features and products and services for our customers, including a lot of kind of expansion into pet health for prescription, compounding pharmacy, and we offer pet insurance, and we expanded into Canada last year, and also offered services that are making it convenient for our customers, whether it is additional payment options, including digital payments, or kind of guest checkout, or social login. Inherently, these features are riskier and susceptible to more fraud, so we make sure we have these metrics defined for these new features before we roll out, and we have close monitoring to continue to tweak the performance.
That's a really impressive growth story, Srini. With all of that growth and the increase in e-commerce fraud, how do you think about tackling that challenge?
It is a good challenge to have. As the company grew and our customer base grew, the brand name is becoming a household name for pet parents everywhere. And also, fraudsters are taking notice. That's not surprising. So we have seen increased attempts on different types of fraud attempts, whether it is kind of credential stuffing or payment card validations or triangulation fraud or return abuse. We have seen variations of different attempts, and we really let our database insights drive our decisions. So we have very prescriptive frictions. We have a toolkit of frictions that we can throw based on the use cases, based on specific kind of attempts and vectors, and that's been proving to be effective.
So, Chewy is really known for its customer experience, how you treat your pet parents. I love that. How have you sort of thought through, or how do you think about, balancing the importance of that customer experience or customer centricity with the sometimes required friction to keep the bad actors away?
So I think we have probably like a half a dozen team members, or what we proudly call Chutopians, in the call. So I encourage many of you, if you didn't get a chance, just tap into any one of us. We will chat more. And our customer service frontline is our secret sauce. And there is a reason why Chewy is rated #1 for customer trust, customer satisfaction in multiple years in a row. We really are proud of that, what we do. And we wanted to provide the best service for our customers every single day in every single interactions. And that takes a lot of data and insights to make it happen. We invested heavily in this space, and we will continue to do that. We don't shy away from that. And we have powerful tools for our frontline CSRs. They have the ability to identify in near real time when somebody is trying to abuse or create fraud, and they have effective mechanisms to address that sophisticatedly, and while ensuring that we have the best customer experience for all our good customers. So that has been the criteria that we kind of go by, and we have very strong mechanisms to kind of put a guardrail around so that we don't impact any of our good customers in our attempt to stop abuse and fraud.
So you're in a competitive space. You're having success. Really, really important to be able to identify, who are your good customers, who are your legitimate customers, versus who are your bad actors. What kind of data and insights do you use to sort of make that distinction and make sure that you're getting it right?
Yeah, no, I think we have an advantage. Chewy is relatively young company. We are just completing 13 years, and it is a company that is born in the internet age. So what it allowed us to do is we have a builder culture in the company. We built our entire e-commerce platform and all our systems ground up. What it allowed us to do is we have very detailed level of instrumentation in our e-commerce platform. We have the ability to track every single action, and then we have a rich history of historical transactions for our customers, and we have innate information about our customers, their preferences, about their kind of pets, about their kind of the medical conditions, what is their food preference, and what is their historical transactions that they had with us, and combine that with the customer touchpoint data. Whenever they are contacting our customer service, we capture that information, analyze that information, and layer that on with our partner information, whether it is from our clickstream data or from our partners such as Riskified or the industry data. We blend them all together to gain insights.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So clearly, I mean, in knowing in our discussions before and sort of seeing how you're talking about this, that customer centricity is obviously exceptionally important at Chewy. How do you make sure that you have the right tools in place for your customer service teams for that sort of front line of success? How do you make sure that they have the tools that they need to succeed, but at the same time still being vigilant about fraud?
Sure, and I think we have a couple of great leaders. I think if you can raise a hand, Nicole and Moses, yeah, awesome. So they are a part of the secret for Chewy, making the customer experience wow every single day. And as I said, we invested heavily in building the systems, leveraging the rich data that we have and augmented with external data to provide very powerful tools. And more importantly, we have our team members, including our customer service team members, empowered to do what is right for our customers. It is very important for us to ensure we have best experience for our customers, while we wanted to kind of throw friction specifically for attempted fraud and abuse. And it is important. It is taking a lot of investments on our part. And if any of you haven't experienced, we don't have any IVR or the kind of press one for this kind of a crap in customer service. You can take 3 rings and you will talk to a human. That is a human touch that we value. That is what our customers value, and we will continue to do that, and we don't shy away from that. And you may ask, okay, it is cost prohibitive to kind of do that kind of model, investing in technology, investing in a lot of people so that you have a human touch for customer service. We strongly believe in that, and customer first is our primary and the top operating principle that we live by day in, day out. And it is also making a lot of financial sense for us. These investments are reducing our total fraud loss and also improving our authorization rates with our bank and building our overall image. More importantly, lifetime value of our customers tremendously go up as they tend to stay longer with Chewy. For example, one of the key measures that we calculate is NSPAC, or net sales per active customer. So this is what is the annual spend of an active customer. For somebody, cohorts that are staying with Chewy for 3 years or so, that is about $500 or excess of $500 they spend per year. As they tend to stay longer with Chewy, for older cohorts, this number goes beyond $1,000 per year. So as you can imagine, like kind of what we are doing is paying back. Customers are taking notice, appreciating. They are paying back with their loyalty.
Yeah, I know when we were chatting before this, and I'm going to throw you a curveball question, maybe that you're not expecting, but we were talking about sort of that empowerment of the front line and how important customer centricity and the experience is. And we were kind of talking about some of my past experiences about that, but those, like, maybe talk a little bit more about some of those wow experiences that you've been able to give to your pet parents and how your customers have reacted to those.
No, absolutely. And so one of the cool things, there are many, working for Chewy is if you ever need any motivation, all it takes for us is to kind of go to our social media page, spend like 30 minutes, and you cannot get better motivation. It is as good as Seth Godin's speech this morning. So kind of we do a lot of things to make the moments that matter for our customers. We want to be part of their lifetime and journey, especially as a pet parent. We understand and we empathize what they go through when they get a new pet into their house, all the way to the end of life for the pet. So we really kind of listen to our customers and respond to them. And we have a focus team that just all they do is how do we make life better for our customers. Mm-hmm. I can tell several stories. It's very common. On every kind of daily basis, you can go to our social media page and see how many kind of members are responding to those gestures in a positive way. And it is very common. If we spend time to kind of listen to our customer service calls, a good portion of our calls are coming in from customers who want to say thank you to Chewy. How many of you, think about it, how many of you last time called for your cable company or utility company to say thank you? It doesn't happen often. And what we do is kind of when we listen to our customers, when they tell us they have a new pet, we recognize by sending them a kind of nice gesture or a card. We send birthday cards. And if, unfortunately, if the pet passes away, we send them flowers. It means really well for our customer and pet parents. And it is kind of moving when you listen to some of these customers. I have been on a call where a customer just called to report this happened, and then she received our thank you card from the customer service agent that she spoke to, handwritten card with flowers. And she just, I was listening to the call, she was just crying because her neighbors, her immediate family members, their partners, they didn't really understand what it means to lose a pet, but Chewy understood.
Amazing.
That is
amazing.
moving.
It's very moving. Srini, you mentioned birthday cards, so I'll just let you know, August 28th, that's my two I have twin boys, I also have twin dogs, so August 28th, that's their third birthday. I'll be expecting a card from Chewy.
And by the way, I think you have Chewy customer. I think Greater Toronto, we moved in last year.
As you told me, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so then you are going to get a card. But you know, we value both human kids and fur kids, but we value the fur kids more.
Fur kids. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know that I value my fur kids when they're driving me nuts, but yeah, I can't imagine
we have something
being without
in common.
them.
Yes. You will get a card.
Perfect. Srini, maybe last question. For anyone that's sort of in the audience, what sort of advice would you give to perhaps someone that's just starting out on the journey of kind of scaling their fraud prevention program based on your experiences?
No, John, first, I think you refer to this as a journey. That's very important, to recognize this as a journey. Preventing fraud and abuse is a journey. And for anyone that is in the early stages or starting out the journey, I would consider like 3 or 4 things as the primary considerations that you want to take into account as you start this journey. Number one is a deeper understanding that it is a team game. Stopping fraud and abuse cannot happen in an isolated fashion. I think you may have seen over the past couple of days so many speakers and share their experience. That is very important. You need to establish a very strong relationship with your key partners, including cybersecurity team, your payment team, team that is handling the account and login pages, and the financial team, audit team, legal team. Why it is important? Often you may think, okay, they are independent functions. When the cybersecurity team seeing an attack or a bot attack, it is important for you to know, because that is probably a leading indicator the fraud is going to be going up. Or when the payment team sees, like, okay, there is a lot of attempt for payment card validation or adding things to the wallet, you wanted to know that so that you can see if there is something from a fraud and abuse perspective. Same way, the team that is handling the login, if they see an increase in login attempts or failures, that is an indicator that something is happening. So I think it's just taking a holistic approach, and interconnected approach is very important. That is number one. Number two, understanding your risk profile very well. What it means, kind of what are your business processes or areas that are more susceptible for fraud and abuse. There are inherently some areas are going to be riskier than other areas. If you have a better understanding, it allows you to come up with specific steps or frictions that you can throw to avoid and prevent those risks or mitigate those risks. And then the third one I would say is taking a layered approach. I look at it as kind of a slices of kind of Swiss cheese. So it's easy to find holes in a single slice, but when you stack them up, it's more difficult for a fraudster to get through. And this could be how do you have edge protection or perimeter protection even before somebody comes into your website? Or how do you have application level security? How do you have like a login level security or login level validations? Or somebody is doing something in the wallet. The more that we do upstream is going to be more efficient to stop the fraud. So that's a great understanding to take in as part of your strategy. And then the last one I would say is kind of invest in technology. And this is something that is probably going to vary based on who you are and what is your overall charter and how much resources are available. If you are a company that is having a capability for building this capability, it's worth building this capability. Or kind of engage partners who are proficient in that area where they have sophisticated machine learning and AI solutions that you can put to use. Because gone are the days where we can manually identify and handle all these issues and address them effectively. And then one last thing I would leave it is start smaller, iterate faster. Especially in this space, you cannot afford to wait for a perfect solution. Especially when you are under attack, it's more important to kind of have a toolkit of options to stop that quickly and respond.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can relate to pretty much everything that you've said, and I think especially for me, one of the most important things is that notion of partnering with others in the organization, because at the end of the day, the bad actors, the fraudsters, whether it's against Chewy or other retailers or merchants, or whether it's in the issuing community. I mean, what they're doing is they're looking for those gaps between processes, those areas where teams in an organization aren't well integrated, aren't communicating with one another, and that's the gaps that they're taking advantage of. Agreed. Well. I see our little timer here has not gone down to 0 yet, so the bomb hasn't blown up. I think we may have time for perhaps one or two questions from the audience, and given that almost everyone here knows about Chewy and perhaps is a customer of, this is your opportunity to ask Srini anything that you want, really. So take advantage of it. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you, or you can just speak really loudly. If not, if there's no questions, then thank you. We'll end this off. Srini will be around for the rest of the day, so you can ask me your question then, and I will be as well. So thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, John.